Hey, the PMP exam is one of the most difficult tests for professionals, and we've heard this from everyone. But not to worry, you have a coach who eats the PMBOK for lunch. Here he is to set the record straight for you, your friend Phil.
Hey folks, how you doing? It's your friend Phil here. Thank you very much for joining. We're going to be taking a look at the PMP exam data flows as we normally do in this forum, and I want to encourage you to pick up a copy of your friendly neighborhood PMBOK guide. We're going to be taking a look at some of this today, and we are, as usual, going to take a look at our data flows. We're going to take a look at those data flows that you need to know if you're just getting into the guide. My intent is to begin to condition your mind so that as you are studying the content, you are weaving the tapestry of the PMBOK guide. You're making sense out of what is happening throughout the chapters in the guide. So, as usual, you know I've got a process A and a process B. Process A gives you an output, and that output goes into a process B. You know how we do it. We need to find out what is process A and what is process B. But we're going to go a little step further. Process B gives us an output, and that output is known as accepted deliverables. So the question is, what is A? What is B? I know lots of you know this in your sleep, and that's okay. But if you're new to the PMBOK guide, I want to begin to sensitize you to how it all weaves together. Outputs become inputs. Those outputs become another set of inputs, and the cycle goes on. So, what is A? What is B? Hit the pause button because I will be revealing the answer pretty soon. So I'm going to give you 10 seconds to meditate. You ready? If you're not ready, hit the pause button. So, spoiler alert. The answer to A is, drumroll, it is control quality. In control quality, this is where we inspect deliverables, okay? So, verified deliverables are deliverables that have been inspected by the performing organization, and they have been found to be fit for use, conforming to requirements, and with the potential to satisfy the customer from our lens, from our perspective as the performing organization. Now, whether our inspection and our conclusion will line up with the customers, that's to be discussed in a different process. But in this process right here, which is A, control quality, this is where the performing organization is responsible for inspecting the deliverable. Okay, so we've got deliverables going in, and we have verified deliverables coming out. Very important to keep your deliverables straight. We got deliverables, verified deliverables, and accepted deliverables. Now, you probably guessed from what I just said, verified deliverables go to validate scope, and that is where the customer will carry out their check of the deliverables. So if you take a closer look here, you can see the answers are control quality, where we get verified deliverables. Verified deliverables become an input to validate scope, and from validate scope, we get accepted deliverables. An accepted deliverable means documented proof, evidence that the customer has inspected the deliverable, known as a verified deliverable, because it means it's verified from the performing organization, and now it can go to the customer, and if the customer accepts it, we call it an accepted deliverable. So you might ask the question, but control quality, how did verified deliverables come out of that? Well, we have deliverables going into control quality, which is not shown in this data flow. So as you can see, there's a lot of information to store in here. But I want to encourage you to open up the guide, open up your favorite book, okay? That's what we're going to do right now. We're going to open up your favorite book, and we're going to dive into a couple of these definitions just to keep the record straight, okay? Just to make sure that we are all on the same page. So let's go over to chapter 8.3, chapter 8 and 8.3, where we have the outputs. So on page 305, it states a goal of the control quality process is to determine the correctness of deliverables. The results of performing the control quality process are verified deliverables that become an input to the validate scope process for formalized acceptance. This is on page 305 in the PMBOK guide, and it says if there were any change requests or improvements related to the deliverables, they may be changed, inspected, and re-verified. So what does that mean? This could be several iterations. And if you haven't watched my video called PMBOK Mainline for the 6th edition, you want to go watch that video because I go through the multiple inputs and outputs that are associated with this particular output, verified deliverables, okay? There's a long stream of events and you need to know what that is. I hear from students all the time, hey, the mainline videos help me. Without the mainline videos, I don't know how I would have done it. So there's a lot of stuff in the mainline, all right? So let's go over to the next process that we need to talk about in chapter 5.5, validate scope. And that's on page 166. And we're looking at accepted deliverables. And it says, deliverables that meet the acceptance criteria are formally signed off and approved by the customer or sponsor. Now, bear in mind, when these terms are used, we could be talking about a group of individuals. So it could be several people needing to sign off on a deliverable. It says formal documentation received from the customer or sponsor acknowledging formal stakeholder acceptance of the project's deliverables is forwarded to the close project or phase process. So when you really think of it, accepted deliverables is formal proof that acceptance has transpired. You see, it is not the deliverable itself becoming something different. It's still the same old deliverable across the chain. But when we say verified and accepted, we're using these to describe the properties of the deliverable based on paperwork that is available as proof. So verified deliverable, it means an inspection has taken place and there's proof that it has been verified through that process. And when we talk about accepted, it means there's documented proof. So think about it like that. Without the paperwork, without the documentation, we ain't done. Project manager in closed project or phase needs to actually ensure that that paperwork was received, and if not, it needs to be redone or it needs to be found, whatever the case, all right? And that concludes our review for today of these processes and inputs and outputs. You see a pattern, inputs become outputs. So if you watch the last episode, you see we're kind of building on what we spoke about in the last episode. And we're going to keep building like this until we get to the point where we are done with that particular line. Maybe we get to a terminal process, and that may be that for that particular item, like deliverables, the whole trail of deliverable. It ends when we have a particular output from closed project or phase. But we'll be talking about that in another video. All right? So I appreciate you. Thank you very much for joining. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. You don't want to miss out on any of these videos. You know, we come out with these videos quite frequently, and you don't want to miss out on any of these videos. So again, the website that you need to go to if you're looking for training, coaching for the PMP exam, please visit www.praizion.com. And I always tell people, we have training and coaching to boot you into shape so that you keep thinking like this. You know, you want to sustain the thinking, you know, the thought process for the PMP exam. You want to be in that zone. And one of the ways to do it is by going to Praizion.com. All right. So I look forward to seeing you again sometime soon. Take care and keep studying. You'll get certified before you know it. Bye for now.